Hey everybody, me and Buster want to say welcome to Little Cahaba Junkin, where we share a whole lot of Junkin and even more Jesus. Enjoy our video. Hey everybody, it's me Kayla and welcome back to our channel here at Little Cahaba Junkin. I was able to get off work early a little bit today, so I figured, the snowstorm has passed, the ice storm, and it's back to a very temperate 65, 70 degrees almost in Alabama. So I am going to go head out and go to a couple of thrift stores to see what I can find. And I figured that I would give y'all a few tips and tricks along the way on what to look for and kind of how to go through your thrift shops. So we're going to go to two different thrift stores. We're going to go to America's Best, which we've been to several times, and also to the Foundry thrift store, which is a mission type thrift store. So I'm gonna head in and see what I can find, see if there's anything fun that we may need. So let's go. So this is our first thrift store, the Foundry, and we are in Pelham, Alabama, which is right up the road from my job. So we're gonna head in here first. And here are the hours. And I am having to do voiceover while I'm here in the thrift stores because they were playing music really loud, and I do not want to get a copyright strike. But one thing I always go for at the thrift store, I always stop by the furniture first because really good pieces of furniture get picked over. This chest was really pretty. I'm not a huge fan of the color, but it could have been painted, and they have lots of options for end tables, entertainment systems, all sorts of fun things. Now this piece was a really pretty piece. It is very old. The price was high, but you can see there with the dovetail on the side that it is old. It's an antique, very pretty. It was fairly sturdy. It opened well, but the prices in this thrift store have went up significantly. I'm also wanting to redo our front bedroom, so I'm on the hunt for some really pretty a headboard, footboard, and some furniture to go in there. Just something a little more vintage and timeless than what I have in there. But I'm not going to buy something just to buy it. I want to find exactly what I like. But if you're in the hunt for a hutch or something like that, a big display piece, always swing by your thrift store first. Like I said, this thrift store has really went up on their prices. They used to be much more reasonable. Like I bought several tops of hutches here to use as displays for my shows, and they cost less than $30. However, if you go and find a really good piece, it is still significantly cheaper than it would be at a show. I also always look at the china. I am an avid collector of ironstone. I also love just those bowls like me and Aunt Penny collect, the yellowware bowls and things like that. They had several pretty silver pieces here. I'm just not a huge collector of silver, but I do think it's really pretty and it can be polished up easily to make it look brand new. But I also always look for things like these Homer Laughlin plates. For example, this is a Homer Laughlin, the Buffalo China, and the USA pottery. It makes really good risers in your hutches to kind of lift up your bowls and things you want to display to make different points of interest. So if you can find these white dishes or just whatever dishes you like for an inexpensive price, you can always use those as little pieces in your hutch and just display your more prominent pieces on top of them or around them. I like using white pottery in my hutch with the pops of my bowls and things like that for seasonal pieces, but the majority of things in my hutch is white, or they're going to be brass pieces, wood, things like that. These mugs were really cute. We had some Buffalo, some USA, and these plates right here would be really cute to use as risers. Also, when you're out thrifting, if you see a piece like this that has been hand painted and you just want it to be stripped down to the base material, a lot of times you can get acetone or fingernail polish remover and take off the paint. I also always stop by the thermoses to look for vintage thermoses to use for Christmas and for winter. You can find them at the thrift store for next to nothing, and it is the best place to look for them. So they didn't really have much. They didn't have any books hardly. Really no home decor much. But this thrift store has a ton of clothes. So it's really good for that. And it has really good furniture. The prices have definitely went up though on the furniture, but we're gonna go to the next thrift store and see if we can find something and get lucky. So let's go. So I completely forgot, there is a relatively new little thrift store over here in Alabaster, which is right next to Pelham. So we were just coming south to Alabaster, and it's called the Royal Market Vintage Boutique. So it has lots of clothes, lots of really neat vintage jewelry. Like when we had our garden party for my coworker's retirement, I came here and bought all kind of vintage brooches and earrings and things like that. But it is also a really cute little thrift store, and it's very organized, and everything is grouped together in a really cohesive way. So I have never shared this with y'all, so I wanted to go in here and show you around, because if you're local, you need to stop by and support these girls. They are so nice, and they're always very helpful every time I come in. The Royal Market, and they always have it divided up by seasons, which is really nice. So Christmas, Valentine's, you have it. I love looking at old portraits like this to use in vignettes, especially of soldiers, to use around 4th of July and in the summer when I do my patriotic decor. But I also just love these bigger photos. They look so pretty in a vintage frame up on a gallery wall, and some people may think it's really weird. However, I think they just need a home and they need love. Now this guy looks a little creepy. This is Grandpa Jacob Purdy. He would be good for Halloween, I guess. Like I said, this particular thrift store has a ton of vintage jewelry. So if you need something for like a decades day, like an 80s party, 50s, 60s party, a garden party, homecoming at school, whatever, head over to your local thrift shops. You can find all sorts of fun things. And if you're worried about getting some cooties, just get you some alcohol, disinfect it and dry it really well, and it's good as new. Okay, so I'm back in my car. I didn't get anything, but I did get some stuff for Penny. So this really pretty dough bowl, super cute to put on your table. It'll be really pretty on her baker's rack. But it was $20 for the dough bowl and these two rollers. So she got, like I said, the dough bowl and the two rollers for $20, which I thought was a good idea, or a good deal. These would be really pretty in a crock, or just this like it is over on her baker's rack that she bought last year over in Georgia. And then I saw this. I thought it was really cute, so I originally called her for this because she had been wanting a swan and some ducks and things like that for spring. This is actually paper mache. It was only $4.50. I don't mind the color. I think it's really cute. I think it'd be really cute in her house, but I think she's going to paint it white or something. And it also has a hole to put in like a faux plant, or you could even put a small pot with a pothos or some sort of plant in it, or whatever you want. But really cute for $4.50. So Aunt Penny got a couple of things, but I am still holding on to faith. I'm gonna find something at the last thrift store. I love all their vintage jewelry in there. I just don't wear a ton of jewelry, but they have some really cute stuff, a lot of costume pieces and things like that, if you need something for dressing up, or you know, something like that. So now we're gonna head over to the last thrift store. Let's see what we can find. And real quick, this is their card, the Royal Market Boutique and Thrift here in Alabaster. So this is the address, and they have a Facebook and an Instagram. And like I said, they are so sweet. So y'all make sure y'all come and check them out. And I know you're gonna find something. Like I said, really cute store. Okay, I am heading into America's thrift store. It's a very large thrift store, and it's one of my favorites. It's right here in the middle of Alabaster, Alabama. So close to Birmingham, and to me, in my opinion, it's one of the better ones that I go to regularly. And I have a pretty good luck here. always come over here to the vases, and these reminded me of Sweet Michelle at House of Five. These look just like something she would have in her grand millennial home to me. I also always look for like pretty urns and things like that, concrete pieces. For example, this piece is not vintage, but it's really pretty and it would look gorgeous holding like some tulip bulbs or some paper whites. They always have a little bit of milk glass. It used to be usually 99 cents a piece. Now it's up to $4.99. And I need to know who is pricing at these thrift stores. Everything is donated and some things are just priced ridiculously. I also always stop by the baskets, look for bicycle baskets for spring to put on your decor, look for big baskets to use for displaying things on your coffee table to just add points of texture in your home. And the thrift store is the perfect place to find inexpensive items. Also great baskets for making Easter baskets, little gift baskets, and things like that. This would be a great basket for a coffee table. I also always go by the lamps. Remember that just because a lamp is tacky does not mean that it can't be painted. I love to get these vintage lamps. Like this one right here is a great shape, and paint it and make it into my own taste using chalk paint, and it'll give it a really pretty anthropology look. When you're out thrifting, always stop by the books. You can always usually find some sort of vintage book, and vintage books are a great way to use throughout your home for every season. You can use them to add texture, use them as risers, use them to fill spaces in a cabinet. Also look for vintage cookbooks. And for the spring, I really enjoy looking for gardening books with really pretty pictures of spring florals. You can open them up on your coffee table. Also seasonal decor books like this Martha Stewart one for Christmas. This would be beautiful on a coffee table opened up to one of these pretty pictures. Like these plants are gorgeous. Open it on your coffee table, open it up to one of the recipes, use it in your kitchen. It's a super cheap way to add a point of interest and make your home feel more cozy. I'll also always swing by the linens. For example, I was looking for some curtains recently, and I did find several beautiful curtains at the thrift store that were perfect, but they only had one panel. Also, always look at the Afghans. Great seasonal options here, like that red one would have been perfect for Valentine's Day or Christmas. Every now and again, you can get really lucky and find a really pretty quilt. I also always go by the hats, men and women. I love the vintage men's suede hats for display on gallery walls, and of course the sun hats for spring. This thrift store usually has some really good furniture pieces, but they were slacking today. However, this piece was beautiful. It definitely needed some repair, but it was very old and very pretty. And like I said, all of these thrift store prices have really gone up. This was a beautiful piece, a stamped Homer Laughlin. I love looking at all of these little vintage dishes to add a pop of color for seasonal decor. It's a very inexpensive way to just bring some color into your hutches and into your kitchens. And I did also find a beautiful yellowware bowl here for $6 once. So don't fret, it can happen. Well, guys, I did not find a ding dong thing anywhere for me that I went. But the thing about thrifting is you have to go a lot. You have to go regularly. You just keep going back. And it's also best to go when they're putting things out, which I believe here is on, I think, Tuesdays and Saturdays. But anyway, I didn't find anything today, but it was still a lot of fun. I got to look at everything, and I saw lots of other people bringing home treasures, so it was still fun. Any day out Junkin is a day of fun for me. Okay, so I am stopping by one more store on my way home. We are in Calera, Alabama, which is beneath Alabaster, heading south on 31 and 65. And we are going to stop in at Son of a Junkman, and it is a vintage and thrift store. And there's one here and maybe one in Silicaga. I can't remember exactly what the person had told me that runs Son of a Junkman, but I know there is another store somewhere, I think over off 280 somewhere or something. But anyway, long story short, it's really fun. It is super cute, and I don't get by here very often when it's open, so I figured I would go in here and see what I could find. This is where I found my $6 acorn butter mold, so maybe we'll find another treasure. So this store is not what I would call a traditional thrift store. The prices are a little higher, but they do have a really cute black cat walking around that let me pet it the whole way when I was shopping. And they have some really unique, fun pieces that I thought were super, super neat. Like I said, vintage books are a huge plus. Use them in decorating year-round. And also they have a huge collection of vintage records here. I personally don't have a record player. I would love one, but this store is full of unique items, and I always enjoy coming in here, even if I don't buy anything. So my favorite thing about the whole place was definitely the cat. Apparently she wandered in a couple of years ago and she's been living there. So she was so sweet. She walked with me the entire way around the store. So I did get two little books. I got this little small book, and it had $1.99 on it, but I paid $1 each for both of these books. And I thought it was super cute. And then I also got this first aid book. I thought it was so cute since I'm a nurse. And it is from the 30s. I love both of them. They're so, so cute. Check out the pictures. Well, guys, thank you so much for tuning in to my little thrift video. I didn't find much. I did find some fun stuff for Aunt Penny, like I had shown earlier, so I'll get that to her. And I found those couple of books that are just really cute and interesting. I always love to find vintage books, especially ones that relate to me. And you know, the first aid one, I'm a nurse, I just love that. And then the other one was just pretty, so, and I like the size. But I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoyed the thrift tips. Like I said, you have to just go over and over, just go regularly to find the best stuff. Some days I come out with a cart full, or other days like today I don't find much. Some days I don't find anything. But it's still always really fun to just go and take a look around and see what someone else's trash, if it can become your treasure. I love you guys so much. Thank you for tuning into the video, and I hope you just have a very blessed week, and we love you. Remember, God loves you, and happy Junkin.